let's review how to multiply fractions. Remember, it is very simple. All you're going to do is multiply straight across, top times top and bottom times bottom. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, on this example, we just have our basic simple fractions. We don't have any mixed fractions, we don't have any whole numbers, so we can just jump right in. We are going to multiply top times top. So 1 times 2 is 2, and bottom times bottom. So 10 times 4 is 40. Okay, now we know this is not going to be an answer choice, okay, because this is not reduced or simplified. So we need to do that in order to find our matching answer on the star or any kind of multiple choice question. So let's ask ourselves what we can do, what we can divide both of these numbers by. Well, 2, we know we can divide 2 by 2, okay? We can also divide 40 by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 40 divided by 2 is 20. Okay, we are all done. That is the most we can simplify this problem. Okay, now let's look at the next example. The next example's a little bit different because we do have a mixed fraction. That means we have a whole number here, and then we have a whole number here just by itself. Okay, so we've got to make some changes to these things before we can start multiplying our fractions. So we need to first Texas popcorn before we do our top times top, bottom times bottom. So I'm going to start at the bottom and make my popcorn kernel. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So that's my top number, and my bottom number stays the same. Now, this whole number, we've got to make it a fraction, okay? Remember, whole numbers can go over 1 to make it a fraction. So let's change this now to 4 over 1. Now we can do top times top, bottom times bottom. Okay, 7 times 4, 28, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now, we cannot leave our answer like this. This is an improper fraction, okay? So we have to do the backwards check mark strategy to change it back to a mixed fraction. Okay, and I don't have any room down there at the bottom, so I'm going to come up here to the top and do the backwards check mark. Okay, so remember, this is our cowboy, this is our horse. So we're going to set up our division house. We put our cowboy in the house, take off our boots, hang up our hat, and we leave our little horse outside. Okay, we need to figure out how many times 3 can go into 2. Well, it can. Okay, so now we need to move on to 28. So let's ask ourselves, how many times can we get 3 to fit into 28? Well, I know that 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to go with 9, and that would leave me 1 left over. But I have reached the decimal. Okay, when you're doing backwards check mark, you're going to stop at the decimal. Okay, because I don't actually want a decimal answer. I want a mixed fraction. Okay, if we kept going, we would get the decimal answer, but we're looking for a fraction answer. So now I can start at the top, go down, and make my check mark. Okay, the number at the top is going to be my whole number. The number at the bottom goes on the top of my fraction, and the number over there goes on the bottom. So the answer to this problem is 9 1/3. Now, sometimes you can still reduce after you change it to a mixed fraction. In this case, we don't need to reduce or simplify, it's already done.